Your mind is like an open canvas in the early moments after waking. What you put on that canvas will set the tone for every brushstroke that follows. If you allow news headlines, social media feeds, or other people's problems to be the first paint applied, you have already surrendered the power to design your own picture for the day. But when you start by seeing your goals, declaring your intentions, and mentally rehearsing the outcomes you want, you are painting your own design, one that distractions will have to fight to erase. Vision before distraction means giving your inner compass the chance to point true north before you step into the storm. It means choosing clarity before chaos. The clearer the vision, the less appealing the distractions become. You can always tell when someone is walking with vision because they move with a sense of direction that is not easily broken. They are not impressed by every opportunity because they measure everything against their destination. Without vision, you will feel the pull of every voice and every demand, not knowing which ones are worth your energy. Distraction often works by replacing what is most important with what feels most urgent. If you do not define your vision first, urgency will define it for you. Urgency will make you answer calls that could wait, respond to problems that are not yours to solve, and engage in conversations that do nothing to move you forward. This is why the morning is so critical. It is the one time when you can speak to your own spirit before the world starts speaking to it. Placing vision first is also about emotional protection. When you start with distraction, you are often starting with someone else's emotional state, their fear, their anger, their urgency. That energy enters your mind before you have even set your own emotional tone. But when you start with vision, you set your own emotional state first. You decide whether you will operate from peace, determination, gratitude, or confidence. That decision becomes the shield that guards you from being easily pulled into the emotional storms of others. Vision before distraction requires intentional habits. It might mean starting the day in silence, in prayer, in planning, or in reading something that fuels your goals. It might mean reviewing your long-term objectives and asking yourself what steps you can take today to move toward them. It could be visualizing a meeting going successfully, imagining a project being completed, or picturing yourself overcoming a challenge with wisdom and strength. The key is that you fill your mind with the image of where you are going before anything else tries to draw your attention away. Every person you admire for their achievements has mastered this principle, whether they are aware of it or not. They protect their mornings from unnecessary voices because they understand that vision is fragile in the early hours. If they allowed distraction to take root first, it would be harder to return to focus later. This is not about perfection. It is about priority. When vision comes first, it acts as a filter for every decision and interaction. It becomes the question you subconsciously ask about everything you encounter. Does this move me toward where I said I would go? The world will never run out of things to show you, tell you, or demand from you. But none of those things are responsible for the direction of your life. You are. And the way you begin each day will determine whether that direction is chosen or surrendered. Vision before distraction is not just a morning ritual. It is the declaration that your life will be shaped from the inside out, not from the outside in. Discipline is not merely a habit. It is a public announcement to life about what you will and will not tolerate. Every act of discipline is a declaration of identity. It is you saying, "This is who I am, and this is the standard I live by." In the morning, when the temptation to delay, to scroll, or to drift is strongest, Discipline becomes the loudest declaration you can make. It tells the day, the distractions, and even your own emotions that you are in command. When you choose discipline in the early hours, you are not simply completing a task. You are reinforcing a truth about yourself. You are telling your future that it can rely on you. You are telling your purpose that you are committed to its fulfillment. You are telling your fears that they will not set your limits. People often think discipline is about restriction, but it is really about permission. Permission to step fully into the life you are capable of living. Without discipline, that life remains a possibility. With discipline, it becomes a reality. Discipline in the morning carries a special power because it sets the tone for the rest of the day. If the first decision you make is to honor your commitments, it becomes easier to honor them in the afternoon when energy fades and pressure rises. But if you begin the day giving in to excuses, you have already trained your mind to look for permission to do the same later. Morning discipline is like the opening sentence of a book. It sets the mood, the pace, and the expectation for everything that follows. The reason discipline is a declaration is because it speaks louder than intention. Many people intend to rise early, to exercise, to pray, to plan, to work on their dreams. But intention alone is silent until discipline gives it a voice. Discipline turns "I will" into "I am." It removes the gap between desire and reality. When you act with discipline, you are not hoping for change, you are embodying it. Discipline is also the great equalizer. Talent can give you an advantage, opportunity can open a door, but discipline determines whether you can stay in the room once you enter. The world is filled with people who had potential, but lacked consistency. Without discipline, potential is wasted. With discipline, even average ability can then achieve extraordinary results. And that is why discipline is a declaration. It tells the world you will not leave your potential unused. Morning discipline has an additional layer of significance because it requires overcoming yourself before overcoming the world. In those quiet moments when no one is watching, there is no applause, no immediate reward, no instant recognition. The only witness is you. If you can keep a promise to yourself when no one else is holding you accountable, you build an internal credibility that cannot be taken away. That credibility becomes the foundation for confidence, and confidence fuels action. Discipline in the morning is also a strategic advantage. Most people drift through their first hours in a fog, reacting to whatever appears. If you are disciplined in that same time frame, you are moving forward while others are still deciding what to do. This creates momentum, and momentum compounds. By the time others begin their day, you have already gained ground. You are no longer racing against people. You are racing against your own previous best. There is also a spiritual dimension to discipline. It is a way of aligning your actions with your values before the noise of the day tries to pull you in other directions. When you rise early to do what matters most, whether it is preparing your mind, strengthening your body, or investing in your purpose, you are demonstrating that you value the unseen over the seen, the eternal over the immediate, the important over the urgent. This is not about perfection, but about priorities. Discipline proves what your priorities truly are, because what you are willing to do consistently reveals what you truly believe is worth your effort. Every act of discipline says something. It says you will not be ruled by moods. It says you will not wait for ideal conditions. It says you will not live at the mercy of chance. It says you will meet the day on your terms. Discipline is not an accident. It is a deliberate choice to act according to principles instead of feelings. And every time you choose it, You are declaring that you are the kind of person who can be trusted by yourself, by others, and by the destiny you are pursuing. The way you begin your day is the way you declare your life. When you give the first claim to your purpose, you take possession of the hours ahead instead of renting them out to distraction and disorder. When you create order before stepping into the noise, you establish the authority to direct your day instead of being directed by it. When you place vision before distraction, you anchor your mind to a destination before the winds of urgency can carry you away. And when you practice discipline as a daily declaration, you prove to yourself and to the world that you are serious about the life you were created to live. Every sunrise is an invitation to lead, to own, and to shape what comes next. The question is never whether the day will be claimed. It is who will claim it first.